Okay, good morning everyone. Happy New Year 2026. I hope that you all had a wonderful night last night being alcoholic drug addicts. I certainly did not. I went to bed at 7:30 p.m. last night and woke up this morning at 4 a.m. I am bright-eyed and bushy-tailed and I am ready to get some work done. Unlike the rest of the people in this town, there's nobody here. Not even any of the shops are open. Guys, it's not a big deal. It's just a year. It means nothing. It has no significance at all. Anyway, today I am doing something that I think a lot of you are really going to like. It is a segment that I used to do on my Patreon exclusive podcast that I decided, I was looking at my content. I was like, man, I feel like we need something different. I feel like we need to freshen it up in here a little bit. So I am going to be giving people relationship advice. Now, this video is going to serve as kind of a proof of concept of this kind of sort of type of video, and an advice column, so to speak. So for today, I'm going to be reading some Reddit posts on the relationship advice subreddit, just to sort of show you guys how this format might work. And then my hope is that people will send in their relationship advice needs, or not even romantic relationship advice, any advice really that you need about anything in life at all. You can send it to the email danhenschel69@gmail.com. danhenschel69@gmail.com. I'll have Eddie put it up on the screen for you here so that you know where to send your things. After every piece of advice, I'm going to be banging the bowl of truth. So, hear that? That's the bowl of truth. It's really quite a hell of a morning out here. It's raining cats and dogs in Los Angeles. I'm a little bit worried that my car's going to wash away here, but hopefully it'll be all right. All right. So let's just get started, okay? I'm just sick of everybody sitting around. I feel vicariously this morning everybody else's laziness, and it makes me feel sick. God, I can't stand people who say, oh, it's dark, it's rainy, it's cloudy, this is the perfect day to stay inside and cuddle up with a blankie, and drink some hot cocoa. It's like, well, that's called being depressed and being a loser. I bet you do like any excuse to do that, since you're always looking for one. Okay, sorry. All right. First situation. My girlfriend, 25F, admitted she slept with someone hours before agreeing to be exclusive. I, 26M, can't tell if I'm overreacting. What's the move here? My girlfriend of 2 years and I were recently having one of those drunk, tell me something shocking conversations. And yet you're surprised that you heard something shocking. Seems like you got exactly what you asked for. Everything was lighthearted until she dropped something that completely rewrote the origin story of how we became a couple. Something I've always held as a romantic and somewhat dramatic beginning. Oh, brother. I already hate this guy. Sorry if you're this guy, but you're not Batman, okay? A little over a month into dating, I told her that I wanted to be exclusive. Oh, I'm sure you did. I'm sure. Up to that point, everything between us, her behavior, our connection, the way she talked about us, made me feel like she was on the same page. But during that conversation, she suddenly got overwhelmed, said she needed to leave, and basically walked out. I was confused and pretty upset. Sounds like a common theme here. I went home thinking maybe that was it. A few hours later, she called, said she wanted to talk, and drove to my place. That night, outside my apartment, in the rain, perfect. She told me she did want to be in a committed relationship and that she had just needed time to meditate and collect her thoughts. I took it as a cinematic beginning to our relationship. F***ing Christ on a cracker. F*** that. Oh, I just want to puke. Because I cannot stand people who... Okay, sorry, I need to just... I will reserve my judgment for the end. But... Ugh. In the rain. Let me tell you something about the rain, too. It is not romantic. This sounds like me when I was 15 years old scrolling through Tumblr. One time when... Okay, so when I was a teenager, I used to scroll through Tumblr. Because that was something that you did back then. And I remember, you do, as a sensitive young man, you do sort of start to let that stuff kind of infiltrate your view of the world, right? So I was dating someone at the time. It was a high school sweetheart situation, and I was over her house, and it was raining outside, much like it is right now. Wow, this is actually great. It works out great. I did not plan this, by the way, but this is pretty cool. Almost exactly like this. And so her parents said, would you guys mind going out in the rain real quick and collecting the patio furniture and bringing it inside? Because the furniture, I guess, I don't know, they have cushions or something that they didn't want to get the cushions wet. So we said, sure. And I said, oh my goodness, this is the perfect opportunity for me to create a storybook moment, right? Something like in the Notebook, So it was raining very hard. We went outside and we were like, she started very quickly collecting the patio furniture. And I grabbed her shoulders and I said, I love you. And I started to kiss her. And she went and ran back inside. And I stood there like a moron out in the rain. So I walked back inside as well. And I carried another cushion. And she said, sorry, but that was not the move. Similar phrasing to what this young man said here at the beginning. Actually, not young man. This person is 26. All right, I'm sorry. I haven't even finished the story yet. I got to finish the story. Or yeah, I guess it's a story. I don't know. Okay. Okay, so the last sentence was, I took it as a cinematic beginning to our relationship. This is real life, not a movie. You need to get over yourself. You need to stop being a sensitive. Okay, sorry. No, I'm too early. Reserving my judgment for the end. That entire story changed during our recent drunk conversation. Oh my God. Not your cinematic beginning to your relationship that you invented in your own head. That didn't happen. Not your made up fucking bullshit. Oh my God. You're telling me that real life is not a fairy tale? You're telling me this for the first time and you're 26 years old? 26! And you're thinking this. Okay, I'm sorry. She told me that she didn't go home to reflect. She left to go have sex with a dude. Oh! What? I have never heard something so scandalous. Apparently she met this guy at a party. So she's a slut, huh? That's what you're telling me? The week that we first started going out, they hooked up, and the was apparently good enough that she had been hitting him up every few days after. My girlfriend is usually pretty blunt. I'm going to tell you something. I don't think that she's blunt. I think that she's normal, and you are extremely insecure and sensitive. My girlfriend is usually pretty blunt, but this one hurt to hear, especially in context. According to her, when I brought up exclusivity, she suddenly realized that if she agreed on the spot, she wouldn't be able to sleep with him anymore without it being cheating. Pretty reasonable of her, I'd say. So she got up, left without an explanation, and went to his place. I'm just going to say right here, I don't believe that. I do not believe that she got up without an explanation. But I wasn't there. I don't know. Maybe she did. And they had for a few hours to get it out of her system. Oh, man. Afterwards, she drove straight to my place to officially start our relationship. She says this wasn't cheating because, technically speaking, we weren't exclusive yet. She also said she never felt guilty about it, but didn't say anything until now because she didn't want to ruin the mythology I built around our relationship origin story. Jesus Christ. Okay, all right, okay. A story that I loved bringing up whenever people ask us how we met. You made it up! You made up that story! I honestly feel completely blindsided. Even if this wasn't cheating in the strictest sense, it feels like a massive betrayal. It was the fact that she effectively scheduled one last hookup before agreeing to be with me. It makes the beginning of our relationship feel tainted, and it makes me question how she views commitment and honesty. Okay, all right, I've heard enough. You are an incel. Number one, you have a small Number two, you're bad at sex. You're selfish. You are insecure. You are delusional. You have no grasp on reality whatsoever. You are maybe autistic. I'm not sure. And there's nothing wrong with being autistic. Believe me, I am saying this to help you. Because here's the thing. You said that she was being blunt. She was not. She was being a normal person who was talking about the normal things that people do. And you know what? If you ask me, it sounds like she's incredibly kind. Because it sounds like you are insufferable. And it sounds like you're also bad at sex. So here's my advice to you. My advice to you would be, you should be grateful that she decided to be with you in the first place. You should be grateful that she did an entirely reasonable thing of realizing that she was about to be tied down by somebody whose expectations are far higher than any real human being could ever satisfy in reality. And you should honestly start thinking about why you are not satisfied with real life the way that it is. And you should also ask her what she would like to try in the bedroom. Because this is just an assumption on my part, but I'm guessing that question doesn't happen very often, based on what I've heard. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. All right, and then I also want to read the top comment here because I just think that there's a lot of times that I just really disagree with everybody on Reddit, because I think that people who go on Reddit are a very specific type of person that they tend to reinforce each other's sort of negative attributes and what's the word? Misanthropic, yes. But another word that I'm looking for. Maladaptive behaviors. Okay, so the top comment here says, oof. At first I thought it was just poor timing on your part. Like you guys weren't exclusive. She was seeing other people and you just unknowingly asked her to go exclusive after she had sex with someone else. And I usually on the side of, well, you weren't exclusive, so you shouldn't be too hung up on it. That's not a side. That's the truth. But she left and went to go have sex with him one last time. Cheating or not, it's not. That's kind of f***ed up. A guy asked her to be exclusive, whom she wanted to be exclusive with apparently. And her first thought was, let me go f*** that other guy one more time. That paints a horrible picture of her, if you ask me. Oh my God. Oh! And on top of that, she doesn't find what she did weird at all. Where did you get that from? Because, in case you forgot, at the beginning of the story, they were having a drunk conversation that he specifically said was a tell me something fucked up conversation. Tell me something, what was the exact wording that he used here? We were having one of those drunk tell me something shocking conversations. So she does think that it is shocking. She knows that it is shocking, and that's why she told him during the tell me something shocking conversation. And yet he's like, I am so shocked. I am so shocked that you told me something shocking during the conversation that I specifically wanted to happen because I want to get my feelings hurt because I am a martyr. Do you know what a martyr is? It is somebody who sacrifices themselves for a cause so that they will be venerated. Look it up. Jesus Christ. Okay. And on top of that, she doesn't find what she did weird at all. I care about that, right? Like, she'd be perfectly fine if you had someone else in that time when she went off to go. Am I going to have a problem with it? Maybe Eddie, we might have to bleep the F's. She'd be perfectly fine if you had someone else in that time when she went off to go someone else. Where did you get that from? Again, that is something that you completely invented. Here's a common theme between this story and this comment. People making stuff up in their own head and getting upset about it. That's something that you need to take with you in your relationships. Think about how often this comment is now 5 different layers of assumptions. You are assuming that she didn't think that it was weird, which is wrong. You are assuming that then not only does she not think that her behavior was a problem, but that she would not find a problem with you and the same behavior, which has never been established at all. And then it says here, I'd be tempted to ask her that just to see her reaction. Right, because you know exactly what her reaction would be, right? This person that is a fabrication that was made up in a story by a very insecure person to perfectly validate their side of the story. That you have now invented another person on top of that. You're talking about made up people. God damn it. All right. I don't blame you for this knowledge changing how you see her. I think I'd be in the same spot as you. Well, you're 2 peas in a fucking pod then. Isn't that great? I think you two should break up. And I think you should go to fucking therapy. All right. And stop being... Okay, no, sorry. Okay. Isn't that nice? That's such a nice reset. Okay. That's something called the Tibetan singing bowl. And technically, actually, you're supposed... Let me show you how you... Okay. Okay. Oh, yeah. God fucking damn it. Okay, sorry, it's humid in here. It's not really working very well. Hang on, let's try it again. Okay, sorry. All right. That's bad for the audio. Okay. Jesus Christ. I don't know if I have... I don't know if I can stomach another one of these, to be honest with you. I found deleted message. This is the title. I found deleted messages from my boyfriend, and now I'm sick to my stomach. I don't know what to do. 26F, 24M. A little bit of a problematic age gap there, but that's okay. Hi, everyone. I, 26F. Well, hi there, 26F. I'm Dan. I'm just joking. I, 26F, have been with my boyfriend, 24M. Why do we need to know that? I guess it's okay. It helps set context for the fact that these people are completely children at heart and need to... Sorry. Yes, we moved in together fast just this past month. That's not that fast. He was living with his sister who was getting evicted. Oh, Jesus. And I didn't want him to end up with random roommates. You are justifying yourself against criticism that you made up. You are preemptively defending yourself from criticism that has not occurred. Just want everybody to be aware of that and keep track of how often they do that. I also wanted to move out of my grandma's house. It all felt right at the time. Fine. Nobody has had a problem with that. Do you have a problem with that? This man has treated me better than anyone I've ever dated. Well, I have a feeling that's a pretty low bar, to be honest with you. I apologize. That was a little. No, actually, you know what? No, I should apologize. Yes, I do apologize for that. I'm sorry. That was out of turn. He literally worships the ground I walk on. Ooh, don't know about that one. He helps with the house, takes care of me mentally and physically, respects me, or so I thought, in parentheses, has been the safest relationship I've ever had. Oh, wow. Sounds really fiery passionate. I'm dating to marry. I want a family. I've only ever dated older men before. There's nothing wrong with that. I can already feel the audience thinking that I'm going to say that there's something wrong with that, and I'm not. So being with someone younger was new for me, but he stepped up in every way. Well, this morning I had a nightmare that he wanted an open relationship, my worst fear. You know, my worst fear is being buried alive and punching my way out of the coffin only for dirt to completely consume me. Can you imagine how horrible that must be, to be gasping for breath and inhaling dirt? But I'm sure that it would be just as hard if your boyfriend wanted to see other people. I brushed it off as just a dream. It was just a dream. But tonight I had his phone. He knows my password and I know his. Nope. Stop right there. No. Absolutely not under any circumstances. No. No! God, you people need to get a grip. And for the first time ever, I checked his deleted messages. I don't believe that. And I found horrible ones from December 2nd when I was at work and he got drunk. My heart sank. I feel nauseous. He didn't physically cheat, but the words he sent hurt just as much. What were they? We share a home, a bed. I cook for him. All of it feels tainted now. I'm noticing a lot of what we call 0 to 100 thinking, where every single thing about everything is ruined. Jesus. I confronted him immediately. He threw up and started crying. Oh, God, that made me laugh. Sorry. Saying he threw up immediately. Oh, my goodness. Saying he made a horrible mistake and that he was drunk and not thinking. He got on his hands and knees begging for forgiveness. What was he doing with his other hand? Both our families love us together. He has never done anything like this before. There has never been another red flag. I'm so hurt I can barely think straight. I love him deeply, and part of me wants to give him another chance, but another part of me keeps asking, how can someone who claims to love me so much be this disloyal, even with words? Well, there's a small problem here. We don't know what the words were. You never told us what he said. So I think that's actually a pretty important part of this. And I'll tell you this. The fact that this person did not volunteer anything, any information about what was said, any information about who it was said to, anything at all, shows me that this person knows that it is not that bad. Because if it was, then she would have told us, because it would have reinforced her argument. The only reason why she would not tell us anything about what he said, even though she has no incentive not to do so, is that it is not that bad. He threw up, started crying, and got on his hands and knees begging for forgiveness. Somebody does not immediately throw up, get on his hands and knees begging for forgiveness the first time that anyone ever gets mad at them. Huh? And I bet you loved it, didn't you? I bet you loved that. You wouldn't rather have it any other way. All right, this is not okay. Get over it. That's my advice. It was not that bad. I can tell you that right now. It sounds like everything else is fine. So you're upset that he didn't cheat on you? Fucking hell. All right, actually, I need the other page of this because the next one's at the bottom. Okay. Oh wait, shit. We didn't do the gong. Or I apologize. Referring to that as a gong is actually a little problematic. That is a bowl. Partner 31F went back to sleep after I called an ambulance for myself. Oh. Okay. Hi all. Okay, so I'm trying to figure out if this is normal or not in relationships. You don't have to say that because we know, because this is relationship advice. Obviously, that's what you're trying to do. Last night, I had a sudden shoulder blade pain on my left side, which then radiated to my neck, chest, and all down my left arm. My fingers and arm were tingling, which has never happened before, accompanied by pain. I'm already exhausted. I'm already exhausted by this. I had told my partner 31M about my pain, and he had tried to massage my arm and shoulder to see if it would help. It didn't. So when we went to bed, the pain was still there, and he told me to call the ambulance if it got worse, and then went straight to sleep. Sounds like that was well, then call an ambulance then. 5 minutes after that convo, the pain kept radiating through my arm, and the chest pain got worse. So I called an ambulance just to be safe. You know, those are very expensive. I thought I was having a heart attack. I had no clue what was happening with my body. No, you know what? All right. I'll concede that it's very scary. I did one time. I used to vape a lot. And one night I had a panging chest pain. That was the same thing. It radiated down my arm. And I thought I was having a heart attack too. It was pretty scary. I didn't call an ambulance. I just got over it. But you know, it was scary, certainly. As I was waiting for the ambulance in the living room by myself for about 45 minutes, I was heading in and out of the bedroom trying to wake up my partner on and off to let him know that I've called the ambulance and to tell him to check on our 4-month-old baby and feed him if he wakes up. He did not wake up. I tried again and again. Nothing. He was snoring more than our baby. Your baby shouldn't be snoring. When I finally managed to wake him up, about 1 hour into waiting for the ambulance. No, I'm not going to say anything yet. He asked if I was okay, and I told him that I had called for the ambulance and that I was having... This must be in Europe. This is not America. This is not... I can already tell this is not America. So I apologize for the earlier. I think Americans just have a different relationship with the ambulances. He asked if I was okay, and I told him that I had called for the ambulance and that I was having chest pain and that for him to wake up or feed our baby if he wakes. He nodded and said he'd feed the baby if he wakes up, and then he went straight back to sleep. Okay, this was the part that was really upsetting for me. He didn't give any comfort. He didn't wait up with me or really check on me, nothing. He already did all that. He already gave you a massage. I was all alone in the living room at 1:30 a.m. waiting for an ambulance in pain and worried about how I will look after my baby if I'm in the hospital. After 1.5 hours of waiting for the ambulance and at 2 a.m. I decided to call them back and tell them to cancel. As if it were a heart attack, it would have gotten worse and I'd probably be dead by then. Sorry, that's funny. Calling an ambulance and saying never mind is a very funny concept to me. The pain was still there, but I sucked it up, headed back to the bedroom, checked on my baby, and saw he was hungry. So I made a bottle and fed him. All the while, my partner is sprawled in the middle of the bed snoring and has the audacity to roll over with his back facing me as I'm feeding the baby on the bed next to him. He was asleep! Unconscious! Not making conscious choices. To say the least, I was mad at him. Mad at how nonchalant he was about everything. I seem to remember that it was his idea to call the ambulance. What if I was actually having a heart attack? You weren't. And he didn't even wake up to feed the baby. I had to do it myself, still in pain. I felt so alone in that moment and really questioned whether I want this relationship or not. Jesus Christ. Wait, I need some more information. Okay, so let's rewind here a little bit. The pain started. Last night I had a sudden shoulder blade pain on my left side, which then radiated to my blah, 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 blah. Okay. I had told my partner about my pain, and he had tried to massage my arm and shoulder to see if it would help, and it didn't. So when we went to bed, the pain was still there. So that sounds like that was quite a long amount of time. Because you say when we went to bed. So does this say here when it was this say when? The shoulder last night. So I'm guessing the pain, so it sounds like the pain started and then it was a few hours. So the pain started, he, was what did comfort you, gave you a massage, was very understanding. And a few hours went by and you guys were about to go to bed. And you were still, in pain. So he told you to call the ambulance if it got worse, and then he went straight to sleep. That's very reasonable. I mean, because here's the thing. You use the same it sounds like, all right, I'll tell you. All right. Here's what happened, okay? You were having a panic attack, which is understandable. And you called an ambulance, which in America is not understandable, but I understand that. I understand. Even though I just said it was, understandable. Yeah, whatever. Okay. So it sounds like you and him both had the same thought process. It's just that you arrived at it much later. So several hours went by that you were stewing alone by yourself, getting more and more mad about the fact that you were not having a heart attack. And then once you finally accepted that it was not as bad as you thought it was, you canceled the ambulance, and then you decided to be mad about a situation that didn't happen. Is that right? You're upset that you didn't have a heart attack? You're upset that you did not get to tell your husband, how dare you go to sleep when I was having a heart attack? In the hypothetical version of this scenario where you were having a heart attack? You said it yourself. If you were having a heart attack, you'd be dead. Within the time between when you went to sleep. So take an Advil. Oh, God. God almighty. This is just exhausting. Jesus Christ. All right, this is not, oh, for the love of God, this is not, oh my God, you're kidding me. Not only is this story not over yet, there's a whole other page. Jesus Christ. Okay, all right. So we said, okay, he didn't wait up for me or really check on me, nothing. I was all alone in the living room at 1:30 a.m., waiting for an ambulance in pain and worried about how I will look after my baby if I'm in the hospital. Okay, I've read that part already. All right. Have any of you had this experience before or something similar? If so, how did you handle it? And is it a normal thing or not? I understand he's tired and he's been working 6-day weeks and is also on antidepressants. I'm holding my tongue here. So I thought maybe that wouldn't help with waking up and trying to attend on me. Okay. Update. So here's the first update. I went to an urgent care clinic today to get the pain checked out. They ran an EKG, checked my breathing, etc., and asked all the same questions. Turns out it could be a pinched nerve and soft tissue inflammation that's causing the radiating pain and tingling in my fingers. I've been referred to a physio. No heart attack, thank God. Update number 2. I had a conversation with him about what had happened last night. He said he did not recall me talking to him about calling an ambulance in the middle of the night, but remembered when I told him I had called the ambulance when I had gotten back into bed at 2 a.m. Wait a minute. You got back into bed? I remembered I told him I had called the ambulance when I had gotten back into bed at 2 a.m. Oh, so this was after you canceled the ambulance. Okay. It's 2 o'clock in the morning, by the way. God. And that he is a deep sleeper and he can't help not waking up. Well, He also said that he knew I wasn't having a heart attack and that I should have created more urgency if I was really worried I was having one, instead of being calm and walking around like I normally would. And this is interesting, this person capitalized he here as though they are referring to God himself. And he didn't think anything sinister was going on. Sinister. I don't think that's the right word. I'm starting to think maybe there is something sinister going on. And that is the right word. He mentioned that if anyone around the world was having a heart attack, they would have called the ambulance because they wouldn't be able to take the baby there. What? Oh, I missed a sentence. I apologize. He also told me that I should have told him what I explicitly needed from him during that time, instead of expecting him to react to what was happening. Perfectly reasonable. He mentioned that if anyone around the world was having a heart attack, they would have called the ambulance because they wouldn't be able to take the baby there. I also asked him how he would feel if he went through what I went through yesterday. And he responded with, I wouldn't know because I've never experienced it. To which I replied, you can't put yourself in my shoes. That's what I mean when I say lack of empathy. You're accusing him now of being a psychopath? And then I told him I felt like he didn't care in that moment, and he responded, what you felt and how it was is completely different. Yes, thank you. And what he took from the conversation was that no matter what he does, it's not good enough, and that he is an asshole, and that I expect him to read my mind. Oh, God, that's it. That's enough of that. I wish you two the best of luck in your fucking pressure cooker hellhole of a relationship. Jesus Christ! Okay. I need a fucking nap for that one. All right. Let's do an easy one here. I have an easy one. This one is actually from Am I the Asshole? Got all my pages messed up. Okay, I read that already. Oh, shit. Wait, I've messed up my pages! Where's the other page? Oh, shit. No, that's not it. Oh, here. Okay, all right. We're good. Okay. All right. Am I the asshole for not wanting to watch Netflix with subtitles? All right. Okay, so this is not worth my time, first of all. Okay, so my partner 36F and I 36M have been married for 11 years. Our biggest fight has been because of subtitles on Netflix. You guys are losers. I want it, she does not. My reasoning, I follow the story so much better when it is on. Her reasoning, it is distracting. It is. I said that when I decide on something, we need to have it on. Wait, what? I said that when I decide on something, we need to have it on. But it does create some friction still. Am I the asshole? Okay, so here's the thing. sound design. All right, and actually, I will confess I read this already. So here's the top comment, because this goes into. Okay, top comment. This is the top comment. I'm impressed you can hear what they're saying. I watch everything with subtitles since sound mixing has gotten so bad. Have you ever heard the expression, if you smell shit everywhere you go, check the bottom of your shoe? Maybe you should turn the volume up. If all of sound mixing has gotten worse, do you think it's more likely that every single professional sound mixer has suddenly become so bad at their jobs that you can't hear anything? Or you need to turn the volume up slightly on your shitty television? And also, here's the thing. Sound design is an art. Sometimes you're not supposed to hear what's going on. Things are a different volume as an intentional artistic choice. Everything is not supposed to be the same volume. If you are supposed to hear something, the director of the show will make sure that you hear it. If you're not supposed to hear something, that is probably the intended effect of the sound design. And it is okay to be a little confused when you're watching something. You don't have to be like, oh my God, I didn't hear exactly what he said. What's going on? Oh my God. Just relax. I don't watch it with subtitles because that's fucking horse shit. God, I can't do this anymore. Okay, forget it. Goodbye.